Do we need inequality? Shakespeare's England was not a rich country. By the year 1600, the average income in England would buy you the equivalent of what £2 buys today. Not that different from what nearly half the world's population currently get by on. Globally, we're still living in Shakespearean times. The wealth of Britain grew steadily after 1600, peaked as a share of global wealth in 1913 and steadily fell until the end of the 70s. During this time, Britain became one of Europe's most equal countries. Without the empire to prop it up, Britain's economic growth and international standing during this period struggled to keep up with the growth rates of its European counterparts. But some people, notably Conservative politician Margaret Thatcher, blamed adjustment in Britain's place in the world on state intervention, and her party set out to dismantle many of the regulations that controlled how banks lent and what landlords could charge, and also began to privatise state-subsidised assets such as housing and utilities. Thatcher didn't believe in equality. She argued that by allowing market forces to dictate the income and thus wealth of individuals within a society being a concept she famously didn't believe in, the resulting competition would create everlasting growth that would benefit the whole population, starting with those most able and willing to work the hardest. Rather than reaping the rewards of their hard work, most of the 14 million people living in poverty in Britain today are in working families. Those wanting to improve their status may be disappointed. University education is now extremely expensive and saddles poorer students with huge lifelong debts, as the continued stranglehold of the wealthy and usually privately educated in top jobs has helped turn Britain into one of the least socially mobile countries in the world. As inequality increases, it is the less wealthy households who end up paying a greater proportion of their earnings in income tax and VAT. The super rich can afford to find ways to avoid paying tax. The poorest fifth of households in Britain pay taxes that equate to 38% of their income, while the richest fifth pay only 35% of theirs. In fairer European societies, these proportions are not simply reversed, but the rich pay more again and public services are well funded. The problems of inequality don't just affect the poorest. As the gap between rich and poor grows, the rich become more afraid of losing their status and become less likely to help or associate with those striving beneath them. Increasingly, they live in what are in effect gated communities. They send their children to exclusive schools, while those born outside of their compounds begin to lose hope as the myth of meritocracy is made transparent. A certain amount of inequality is inevitable. However, in countries like Britain, where the income gap has been steadily increasing, we are already experiencing inequalities not seen since the 1930s. The majority of all our young people should expect to see their standard of living fall in future, or they need to learn how to better control the richest people in our society.
So distribution should undo excess, and each man have enough.